Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with his inspirational morning walk. For first-time listeners, I just get some exercise in the mornings, and I share my thoughts with you guys. What I'm inspired to talk about that day. As you can see, it's a nice sunny day here in Houston. It's still a little cold, so I can sit in the vehicle today. It's still a little cold. It's just the late 30s, sticking into the 40s, and it's a little loud outside there too. So I'm gonna just stay here where it's nice and quiet and warm, where I can bring home this message. Good, Christine, Cato, Joseph. Good morning. How are you doing? Hope all is well with you. Hope you're having beautiful weather and having a great day. Yes, guys. So today what we want to talk about, the whole of January, we're dealing with the word and the power of the word and trying to achieve your New Year's resolution and all of that. And then we get into that some other things. But guys, but YouTube, if you like what you're hearing, okay, Christina, good. I'm glad everything is going great with you. Yes, so you like we're hearing because I was on YouTube. There's lots of these little talks on there, and you can find something that can bless you. If you're on there, you can support the channel by subscribing. You can see the word subscribe if you go on YouTube. You can type in my name, Gregory Wiles, Wyles, and the channel should pop up, and then you can just hit the subscribe in red, and once you change the color from red, your subscription went through. Okay, well, thank you for doing that. Yeah, so today what we want to talk about is defeating the giants in our life, defeating those big problems there that's stopping us, that problem that is consuming our life, right? And it feels like everything in our life is so wrong, but it's just the one issue. But it feels like it's your whole, according to the man, his whole body was aching when he went to the doctor. He said, "Doctor, my whole body is aching." The doctor said, "Yes." The doctor said, he said, "Yes." The doctor said, "Well, touch your head." He used his fingers, right? And next thing he touched his head. He said, "Ah!" The doctor said, "Okay." Touch your elbow. He touched his elbow. Ah! He touched his knee. Ah! The doctor said, "Man, your whole body's not paining. You have a dislocated finger." All right? But because the pain in his finger, he's touching all parts of his body with that same finger, it feels like everywhere is hurting, which is just his finger, right? So the problem in your life, it feels like everything is going wrong in your life, but it's the one issue, that Goliath, right? That Goliath. We can look at the story with David and Goliath, but we heard the story so much, we ain't going into the thing. If I ask you how David killed Goliath, everybody with a sling and a stone, and that's partially right, right? But we can dig deeper into the story. I ain't going to read the whole story. You could go back if you want to refresh yourself on this story. It's 1 Samuel 17, but we're not looking at the entire story. And for you, David, Goliath was this big giant and was challenging the Philistines, and this little boy, David. And they said he was over 9 feet tall. Some places say he was 9 feet 6 inches tall, and how strong he was because the armor and the stuff that he wearing was over 100 and something pounds, and he was this big fighting champion that everybody scared. The whole Israelite army was scared of him, and then this little boy, David, probably was about 15, 16 around, I guess, somewhere around there, right? Come with a slingshot in his stone, and he challenged the giants and killed the giants. All right, blah, blah, blah. We got that. Everybody know about that, right? But let's look a little deeper, because in the Bible, when you see something is being repeated, we need to take a deeper dive and see what's this repetition. It's not the writer just making a mistake or repeating himself. No. Once you see something is being repeated, we got to take a deeper dive into it. It's saying we need to look at this beyond the surface. We need to look at it beyond the surface, right? So two scriptures here I'm going to want to focus in on is 1 Samuel 17:26 and 36. 17:26 and 17:36. And it's a phrase here that's repeated, and we're going to see why. And this can give us a little insight why David, this little boy, was so confident in going up against this big giant, right? So 1 Samuel 17:26, here it says, "Then David spoke to the men who stood by him, saying, What shall be done for the man who kills this Philistine and take away the reproach from Israel. For, for who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? Uncircumcised Philistine, right? Who's this uncircumcised Philistine? So let's go on to verse 26 and see what was repeated here. I can read from 34 and get a gist of the story. But David said to Saul, your servant used to keep his father's sheep, and when a lion or a bear came to took a lamb out of the flock, I went out after it and struck it and delivered the lamb from the mouth. And when it rose against me, I caught it by its beard and struck and killed it. Well, here we turn to 60. Your servant has killed both lion and bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, seeing that he defied the armies of the living God. Moreover, David said, the Lord who delivered me from the paws of the lion and from the paws of the bear, he will deliver me from the hands of the Philistine. So why David focus on this uncircumcised Philistine? What this man, if he's circumcised or not, got to do with this, David? This is a 9 feet 6 inches tall giant who everybody's scared about. What this man, private body part, got to do with this? Why is he uncircumcised? What has got to do with you? Is this man uncircumcised or not? But David looking at something deeper. And this is not a mistake why the writer said it. They want us to drill down deeper and see what this man being uncircumcised has to do with it. So let's go and see why David's stressing that this man circumcision is a problem and why this man can't stand in front of him because he's uncircumcised. Let's go to Genesis 17:9 through 14. Genesis 17:9 through 14. This is the mark of the covenant. Then David said to Abraham, your responsibility is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and your descendants have this continued responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. You must cut off the flesh of your foreskin as a sign of the covenant between me and you. From generations to generations, every male child must be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth. This applies not only to members of your family, but also to servants born in your household and the foreign-born servants whom you have purchased. All must be circumcised. Your bodies will bear the mark of my everlasting covenant. Any male who fails to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for breaking the covenant. So what's this covenant? Remember, God made this covenant with Abraham about he can make him a father of many nations, he can protect them, he can take care of them all the land we're going to give them and all of that. So he's saying for the mark of the covenant, everybody got to be circumcised. So you see, David was looking at what we're telling people. Look at your problem spiritually. Look at, you remember this law. See, that's why it's important for us to remember these laws. Right? I tell you, these laws are so important. 2 Corinthians 4:18, what the law states. While we do not look at things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are seen are not seen as eternal. So David was not looking at the 9 feet 6 inches giant. David was looking at this stuff. Let me look at this stuff spiritually first, right? Because if you are looking at what you can physically see, you will not see all there is to be seen. You will not see all there is to be seen. If you're just looking at physically, because this is a 9'6" giant. David saying, okay, I'm not looking at the giant. I'm looking to see this man is not circumcised. He's not covered under this covenant. So he's no match for me. I don't care how big. I'm looking at a big guy that is a walking dead, a bluff. He can't do me nothing because he's not covered under the covenant. I got the upper hand. I got the more power over him because I'm under the covenant and he is not. I see all the rest of the Israelite army was looking at that 9'6" giant. So guys, that's what we're saying. We got to look at things. The way how you look at something and what you see is how you're going to approach it. It's like the story with this little boy. He lost his contact lens in the dirt and he's looking, but for 2 hours he can't find it. He didn't want to go and tell his mother. He can't find his contact lens, so he said, okay, it's getting late now. I got to go and face my mother and tell her about the contact lens that she just bought for me. So he said, Ma, I lost my contact lens. She said, okay, where is it? Where did you lose it? And he took her to the spot where he lost it in the dark. And she went down and looked. But in a minute and a half to 2 minutes, she found the contact lens. She said, Ma, I was looking for 2 hours and I couldn't find it. How you just find it again? How you find it so quickly? She said, well, the difference is you were looking for contact lens, but I was looking for $300. See, we were looking for 2 different things. You were looking for contact lens, but I was looking for $300 that I paid for that I don't have to replace it. So we were looking for 2 different things. You see they sell the same problem, and you see the approach. What you were looking for, what you looking at, and can solve the problem. So that's what we're saying. When you look at the Goliaths in your life, your Goliath could be a financial Goliath. It could be a medical Goliath. It could be a marriage Goliath. It could be a business Goliath. It could be a work-related Goliath where you got a boss behind your case and the boss giving you a hard time. Your Goliaths could come in different forms, and you will face Goliath. If you don't face a Goliath yet, or facing one right now, you will face one in the future. That's just how life is. Life can have Goliaths. But the Goliaths didn't mean to rule you. You were supposed to be controlling the Goliath instead of the Goliath controlling you. Right? You're supposed to be in control of the Goliath instead of the Goliath controlling you. Right? So if you look at these stuff spiritually, like David did here, David said, this man is no match for me. He's not covered under the same covenant. He's uncircumcised. That's why I keep repeating it with that confidence. He can be just like this bear and this lion that I killed. They wasn't under the covenant. He's not. So he's just like one of them in my eyesight. It's just like a lion. A lion is not the biggest, the strongest, and the more wise in the jungle, but yet he's considered the king of the jungle. Because when a lion looks at the bigger the animal he look at a big elephant, a big hippo, a big hyena, whatever it is, he looking at more food for my family, man. Okay, this here is more food, I ain't got to hunt for the rest of the day or maybe tomorrow. This big elephant here can take care of my family. This is my lunch or dinner or breakfast. That's how we're looking at that big lion. He's not looking at the size of the elephant, sorry. He's looking at the size of this elephant, one stump and he can crush me. He's looking at this is more food for my family. But when the elephant look at the lion, he's looking at this as an eater. This beast is one to eat me. And he forget all his strength. He forget that he's stronger than the lion because of the fear that he's looking at it differently. And the lion looking at him with different eyes. You are my lunch, you are my dinner, bro. But he looking at this thing is going to eat me. Right? That's just how these soldiers looking at this big 9'6" giant. This man's going to crush us. He's 9'6" tall, and look at all these heavy armor. You read how strong this man is. But David said, no, let me look at this stuff spiritually. So, what my point is, right? What a Goliath does, a Goliath stands between the promises of the Bible and the reality of your situation. The promises of the Bible and the reality of your situation. So if you have a medical Goliath, some sickness you cannot overcome, you dealing with this sickness for a long time, right? You got to go and look at the promises where God talk about healing. And all the healing in the Bible we do, and you hold on those words. It's come right back to what we're talking about all January, the power of the word. You go hold on his promises, what he talk about that situation. He says, seek ye first, he talk about all the healing that he does. He's Jehovah Jireh, the God of healing. And you hold on those promises, all what he talk about, he's going to heal. Your problem is a boss. Your Goliath right now is a boss that's giving you hell on the job. You look at the traits. Don't look at the boss and go complain to everybody, but this boss, they say he or she this and that, and the mean and the spiteful. Okay, you are describing the problem right there. But just like the boy, you looking for contact lens when the mother was looking for $300. You describing the problem there. You should attack. They're mean. They're spiteful. They're a liar. You already identify the problem. They're a liar. You need to come against the lying spirit in them. They're mean and spiteful. You need to pray against the mean, spiteful spirit that's controlling them. Because here it might happen. You don't go and pray for get rid of the boss or let the boss get fired and catch him up in his lies and you get fired. Because here it might happen. A next boss might come in that office and doing the same thing. Because why? Sometimes something is in that boss's office, the boss's chair. Somebody lose the mean, spiteful, or lying spirit in that office. So it doesn't matter which boss come in there, they're gonna doing the same spiteful, mean, lying things because it's that whatever it is in that office. So, but if you come against that mean, spiteful spirit and pray against that and remove it from that office, I bet your boss is gonna be a different person. And whichever boss is coming there, going to be different because you're removing the problem. Remember what David said? He's uncircumcised. That's what we're looking for. Looking for the things. Remember this law. We don't focus on the things that we can see. Focus on the things that are not seen, right? So marriage. You got your marriage. Look at what God said the promises of your Goliath is in your marriage. Look at it and hold on. You remember the Goliath is there to stand in between the promises of the Bible and the reality of your situation. Your husband, what traits he portrays? What's the traits he or your wife? What traits that they got? Same thing. The lying, the cheating, the stealing, whatever it is, and you come against that. That is what ruling them. Owen Franklin, that is what you need to come up against. Whatever traits they possess. Your child is lying. They're going all of a sudden to start this lying. They're going, we're hanging out to different crowds to start lying, we're sleeping around. Whatever they're doing, you come against that spirit that is leading them, the things that are not seen. Don't only look at what you're seeing. That's what this is the Goliath story. I guess we probably was missing this a lot. And just looking at Goliath, this little guy got his courage and he go and they face your problems with courage. Yes, that is true. But look at what he was focusing on. The uncircumcised Philistine. Uncircumcised. He is not under the covenant. I'm looking at this stuff spiritually. And I know if he's not covered spiritually, because everything is a spiritual root. If he's not covered spiritually, he's no match to me. I don't care how tall. He could be 11 foot tall and big as the biggest building in one of the skyscrapers. If he's not covered spiritually, that's why the little boy could have gone and take him down. Because he's the only one that look at the situation to spiritualize, because he was properly aligned with God. So he could look at it spiritually and he believe. If he's not under the covenant, he's no match for me. So guys, I'm gonna encourage you. Look at your Goliaths differently. Look at your Goliath. The Goliath is the thing. And call your problems, call your situation right now. Call it Goliath. Name it. Say, this is my Goliath. Because you know why? You know the story. End with Goliath, right? He was killed by a little boy. So call it your Goliath. Because you know this is going to end. And I'm going to defeat you. Because in the story, in the Bible, Goliath was defeated. So call your situation Goliath. Then look at it differently. Look at the spiritual. Look at the promises of God said, look at it differently and hold on that. And that's what you pray. And that's how you can defeat those Goliaths in your life. Right, guys? So I can leave that there. But have a great, great day and know that you got control over the Goliaths in your life. You got control over the situation in your life. And don't let the situation control you. You got the power of it. Look at it spiritually. Attack it from the root. And you're going to defeat the Goliaths in your life. Have a great day. Have a great day. We'll talk again on Wednesday. Bye.